Hello, and thank you for joining us today in our study of the book of Psalms. Today we're in Psalm 108, and this is yet another psalm of David. And here he is going to be looking at and seeking toward the help of God in a particular situation. But he's going to begin the psalm by lauding God, and then he's going to ask for his help. Let's look at what David says in Psalm 108. Beginning in verse 1, we read, O God, my heart is steadfast. I will sing and give praise, even with my glory. Awake, lute and harp. I will awaken the dawn. I will praise you, O Lord, among the peoples, and I will sing praises to you among the nations. For your mercy is great above the heavens, and your truth reaches to the clouds. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens, and your glory above all the earth, that your beloved may be delivered. Save with your right hand, and hear me. God has spoken in his holiness. I will rejoice. I will divide Shechem and measure out the valley of Succoth. Gilead is mine, Manasseh is mine. Ephraim also is the helmet for my head. Judah is my lawgiver. Moab is my washpot. Over Edom I will cast my shoe. Over Philistia I will triumph. Who will bring me into the strong city? Who will lead me to Edom? Is it not you, O God, who cast us off? And you, O God, who did not go out with our armies? Give us help from trouble, for the help of man is useless. Through God we will do valiantly, for it is he who shall tread down our enemies. As you look at David's psalm here, there's a couple different things that I find interesting as you go through the particulars of the psalm. You have the cry out from David of the exalted nature of God. He talks about the fact, I will praise you, I will awaken the dawn with my music, as he puts it. I will sing praises to you among the nations. And then he says in verse 5, be exalted, O God, above the heavens, and your glory above all the earth. But then he switches gears a couple of times from that point, that introduction of the glory and exaltedness of God. He switches gears a couple of times before the end of the psalm. The first one is found in verse 7, where he says, God has spoken in his holiness. Now, if we're not careful, we miss the fact that the statements that are made about, I will rejoice, I will do all of these things with the various areas of Palestine and the various nations of the land, that's not David talking. That is God speaking. That God is the one who is in control. That he is the one who is in charge. That Ephraim and Judah and Manasseh and all of those areas of Israel are his. That Moab is his washpot. That over Edom I will cast my shoe. Over Philistia I will triumph. These are all the nature of God in dealing with these nations. None of them have been able to stand up, nor can they stand up to him unless he allows them to. And so you have David using here the works of God and the use of God in speaking from the perspective of God. But then he's going to switch things again in verse number 10, because there he says, who will bring me into the strong city? Who will lead me to Edom? Is it not you, O God, who cast us off, and you, O God, who did not go out with our armies? So there has been a time where the Israelite armies have not necessarily been successful. And yet David says, who else can we go to? Because, verse 12, the help of man is useless. Now, as you look at the life of David, the times where the armies have not been successful and where things have not gone according to plan have been times where there has been sin in the camp, so to speak, and where things have not been done exactly the way they were supposed to. But here, David's call is for the help of God because he knows there is no one else to whom he can turn who is going to actually have an impact on the outcome. He is not saying that going for others' help is useless in every respect or in every situation. But here, this is in the context of a time of battle. This is in a context of a time of war. And it is not going to be the assistance of nations or of mercenaries or things of that nature that is actually going to be helpful to David. The only one who is going to be able to help David in these circumstances is God. The help of man is useless. There are going to be times in our lives where no man can actually help, where no man can make the pain go away or can make everything feel better or can take care of the problem that lies before us. But even under those circumstances, there is someone who can. And these are the things that we see in Psalm 108. And there's other things that we could talk about as well. But I hope that these things have been beneficial to you. Next time we'll come back and we'll begin looking at Psalm 109. I hope that you'll join us then. And thank you for viewing the video today. Until next time, I hope you have a great day.